At every stage of life, we are often faced with moments of doubt, insecurity, or even inner silence. Moments in which it seems that the heart is in conflict, seeking an orientation that sometimes seems distant or difficult to perceive. It is in these moments that the deepest connection with the feeling of love, care, and protection becomes fundamental, especially when we feel the absence of someone who, for so long, has been our source of strength and hope. For many, this presence is symbolized by a message that comes from the heart of a mother, full of feeling, hope, courage, and faith. These words often become true spiritual embraces, capable of opening space for trust to be reborn and the spirit renewed, even in the most difficult days. Perhaps you are living in a time when all external encouragement seems insufficient, or perhaps you feel that your emotions are at their best, yearning for a sign that will bring peace and comfort to your heart. In this scenario, the message of a mother full of love and protection can be the necessary balm to renew your strength and renew your hope. This is where the figure of angels comes in, beings of light who, according to spirituality, are always present at our side, acting in an invisible but extremely powerful way. They are the messengers of heaven, able to guide, comfort, and convey messages of love that transcend words. When we think of a message from a mother that is accompanied by an angelic energy, a feeling of protection, care, and presence intensifies. This combination of maternal love and the connection with the sacred brings an immeasurable force, capable of transforming the way we face our obstacles, our doubts, and our deepest longings. It is as if an invisible force, clothed in tenderness, envelops us and tells us that we are never alone, that our guardian angels and our spiritual mothers are always attentive to our needs, ready to envelop us in a message of courage, faith, and hope. As we open our hearts to receive this message, we begin to realize that a mother's love, even beyond time, space, or physical life, remains alive, pulsating, and charged with meaning. It is a force that overflows, and that at the same time reminds us of our purest essence, of our capacity to love and to be loved. At this time, perhaps more than ever, you need a word that calms anxiety, that brings clarity to your thoughts, or that simply offers you the feeling of being welcomed by a loving and compassionate presence. And that's exactly where a message sent by angels, under the watchful eye of a mother who intercedes for you, can make all the difference. These words carry the essence of what is truest within us, a connection that crosses time and space, strengthening our spirit and renewing our hope, even in the darkest of days. The opportunity to hear, to feel, and to believe that a mother's love and the light of angels are always at our side transforms our perception of everything around us, revealing that deep down we are supported by a greater force, ready to guide us back to hope, faith, and true love. The depth of this spiritual connection reveals to us a dimension that transcends common understanding, inviting us to explore the subtler aspects of maternal love and angelic intervention. When we open ourselves to receive messages of strength and hope, we are also allowing universal energies to flow through us, strengthening a relationship that is not limited to the physical aspect, but that reaches the higher spheres of the spirit. At this level, communication is not only by words, but by signals, intuitions, and synchronicities that seem to appear out of nowhere, but loaded with deep meaning. These manifestations teach us to perceive the universe in a more sensitive way, teaching that silence can be as eloquent as speech, and that sometimes what appears to be a coincidence is actually divine guidance disguised as chance. Have you heard? The power has already been activated, and if you leave now, in addition to losing the message, you attract imbalance. the angels move away, and everything that was lining up can turn into bad luck. As we deepen this perspective, it is important to recognize that divine messages often arrive in ways beyond our ability to decipher immediately. They can manifest themselves through a song that plays at the right time, by a smell that brings memories of protection, or even by a feeling of calm that invades the heart when everything around seems tumultuous. These sensory experiences function as invisible bridges between the material and spiritual worlds, stimulating our intuition to grasp the subtle presence of forces that wish to guide us. Thus, learning to interpret these signs requires sensitivity, mindfulness, and above all, a heart open to the understanding that there is more to life than what our eyes can see. Another facet that deserves to be highlighted is the ability to transform internal conflicts into learning messages. Often the affliction or doubt that assails us is a disguised invitation to a greater evolution, an opportunity for alignment with the essence of love that our mothers and heavenly beings wish to offer us. These moments of turbulence may seem like obstacles, but they actually act as catalysts for growth, propelling us to seek within ourselves forces that we were unaware of. Faith in this context acts as a bridge that connects our fragility to the hope that everything is part of a greater plan, in which we are guided by invisible hands that know the best way, even when we cannot see. Finally, the understanding that this relationship of protection and love has no temporal or spatial limitations reinforces the feeling that we are eternally supported by a network of care. This perception broadens our confidence in moments of uncertainty, motivating us to move forward with more courage in the face of adversity. When we realize that there is a benevolent force at our side, we can embrace life with greater lightness and gratitude, recognizing that even in the darkest situations, there is a light that silently guides us. This light, transmitted by angels and spiritual mothers, reveals to us that we are pieces of a universe that works incessantly for our transformation, offering messages that, when received with the heart, become inexhaustible sources of hope, renewing our faith and strengthening our connection with the divine. As we contemplate the ideas explored so far, we realize that they intertwine to form an invisible but deeply resilient fabric that underpins our understanding of love, protection, and spiritual presence. Each observation, each reflection, works as a thread that, when joined to the others, reveals a broader panorama, a tapestry that expresses the permanence and intangibility of the care that accompanies us, even in the darkest moments. Just like a work of art that comes to life as its elements harmonize, this sum of perceptions leads us to an understanding that transcends superficial understanding. The connection between the subtle and the palpable, between the invisible and the manifest, becomes ever clearer, offering a solid foundation for us to move forward with renewed confidence in the force that sustains us. Our journey is inspired by the notion that, although words may seem limited and actions insufficient, there is a reality that silently dialogues with our deepest emotions, operating at a frequency that few are able to perceive in its entirety. In this context, the union of these ideas generates an irresistible invitation for us to activate a high sensitivity, capable of capturing these subtle messages that, although invisible to the naked eye, resonate in every fiber of our essence. As navigators who use the stars as a guide, we are called to trust in the invisible direction of the other planes of existence, realizing that the truth of maternal love and angelic guidance is manifested in small signs, capable of renewing our hope and strengthening our resilience Now there's no turning back. You have accessed a powerful spiritual frequency. If you interrupt, this force breaks down, and what was a blessing can turn into delay, blockage, even bad luck. The combination of these perceptions also reveals a dimension of our human experience that tends to be forgotten or neglected. That we are part of a network of energies and intentions that intertwine in order to create a trajectory of healing and transformation. In this invisible web, each element, be it a word, a feeling, a coincidence, or an intuition, plays a crucial role in the subtle architecture of our spiritual growth. It is as if, by perceiving this complexity, we put into perspective our condition as beings in constant evolution, endowed with an innate ability to tune in to this higher vibration. Thus, the journey that until then seemed full of obstacles begins to reveal itself as a constant opportunity to reconnect with something greater. An opportunity to harmonize our emotions with the strength of an infinite love that surrounds us. As we reflect on this set of insights, it becomes evident that the path forward is not simply a direction to be traveled, but a tune to be continually awakened, a listening attentive to the subtle frequencies of a universe that cares about us in silence. This understanding offers a broader perspective, that behind the difficulties and doubts, there is a safety net that operates with delicacy and precision. It is like a river that, despite its current, finds its most harmonious course by flowing, in tune with the earth, adjusting to curves and obstacles without losing its essence. This metaphor serves to illustrate the dynamics of the invisible presence that accompanies us, capable of transforming moments of disorientation into lessons of faith and hope. In the face of these reflections, the immensity of possibilities widens, indicating that every experience of love, care, and guidance is connected to a deeper source, to which we are invited to open ourselves more and more. The recognition of this invisible web strengthens our conviction that we are not alone on the journey, and that the forces from above are always ready to support us, even when our gaze cannot immediately capture their performance. Thus, as we unite these threads of understanding, we are invited to trust in the wisdom that emerges from this connection, knowing that it leads us back to the center of our being, where lies the hope that is never extinguished, and the certainty that in the grand scheme of the universe, everything converges for good. It's time to close the doors of the past and open to a new chapter. Release the hurts and receive the love you deserve. Be strong. Rebirth begins now. Comment, I am reborn. 999, and embrace new love. 9 is the number of the end and the new beginning in love.